Hello, and welcome back to My Artist Friend, the podcast about the artist behind the art. I am your host, Becky Helms, and I am coming at you in a Bucky's hoodie and a Christmas mug full of my third cup of Irish breakfast tea this morning because I am your artist friend again today. I thought I was going to have some extra time. I have one more interview left of my kind of big block of interviews from November when I first had the idea for the podcast and put out a call for some folks to chat with. And I just did not have the energy last week. That is, I've mentioned it before. I have a couple of fun chronic illnesses, and going through life as a human, much less a creative human, can be very difficult when your body doesn't cooperate. Sometimes the kind of creative inspiration does not match up with the ability to get up and do the thing. So I decided to run with it. A few years ago, I probably would have beaten myself up. I would have stayed up late. I would have, lost sleep in order to do that. But my 8 to 9 hours is very important for my functioning. So I decided that I am going to just come and chat with you today, and we will get to the interview when we do. And this is kind of a public call for more artists who might want to chat on the podcast. I would love to have kind of an ongoing schedule of folks to talk to. If you're interested, please reach out. Anyway, neither here nor there. Today, we are going to be talking about journaling. I've mentioned it on multiple podcasts with folks already. And it was funny. I was talking to my therapist, and she asked me, it's a brand new person since we moved, she asked me if I do any journaling. And I'm like, oh, let me tell you about it. Because journaling has become so important in my day-to-day life, in my creative life, just for my mental health. And since I brought it up so many times, I thought I would dedicate a specific episode just to my journaling practices, because they are a little bit more than probably most people would want. But I've really found a routine and a rhythm that works well for me. So I thought I would go into more depth and share it with you. So I'm going to break down the 8 reasons why journaling is so important for my creativity and mental health, basically. I have a practice in the morning and I have a practice at night. So I am going to take you through kind of 4 reasons why I love each one. I'm going to start with my nighttime kind of routine because that one started first. I've been doing this for a few years, and I absolutely love it. I have no idea where the idea came from. I used to journal a lot in college, just with whatever kind of like composition book I could find or notebook I could find. I had a little diary when I was younger. I loved to pass a note in the 90s, and I had a group of friends, and I had a notebook that we would pass around, and only certain people were allowed to look in it. And, we had our names in the front, like who's allowed, to see this journal, this notebook. And if we wanted to add someone, we had to like agree on it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, we've got some sensitive information here. It was not like burn book situation in Mean Girls. We weren't nasty, but it was just, crushes and things like that. That's sensitive information. But I have a long history of wanting to write down my feelings. I took a big break for a while, and I truly don't remember why I started it up in the evening again, but I had this idea because my brain loves to go in circles at night. Like, she will bring up everything that happened during the day. She will bring up every conversation. She will like relive the conversations, you know what I mean? Even if they were fine. If I had a great time, I had a great conversation with a friend, she'll still go over the whole thing. Hey, okay, this is what you said. And that was good. But this is what you said. So you need to remember. I'm like, I know I was there. We don't have to think about this one anymore. And then, of course, if I had any anxieties, anything that I wish I hadn't said, or I should have said, or just stuff that happened during the day, she's a spiraler. And sometimes, well, all the times, it is very annoying. And I need her to settle. So what I decided was I was going to start writing in a journal every night, and then I could physically turn the page or close the book on the day. Like, the day is done. Anything I need to do, I can do tomorrow. You know what I mean? I wish I was the kind of person who had a notebook on the side of my bed too for like middle of the night thoughts so I didn't lose them, but I've just had to let go of those, leave them to the universe. But in terms of my journal, what I decided to do, and I'm really glad that I did this. This is a little bit of a perfectionist thing, but I got a lectern, I think is how you say it, journal. It's a lot like a moleskin. It's one of these guys. It is just the kind of pocket size. I like the lectern ones better because I feel like they have thicker paper than a moleskin, and I like a really fat ballpoint pen. I like a pen that just barfs ink. So I need my paper to be a little bit thicker if I want to go back and read it. So the pages, so you don't see through. Anyway, I got these because I knew they would always be available, and I knew I could get colors that I liked, and they would all be the same. So if I wanted to keep them, they would look the same, they would fit the same, and I could kind of hide them away. I really want to kind of put the dates on the spine, like emboss them. I think that would be really cool. But I did that so my books would be uniform, just so I didn't have a drawer full of just a mess of books that I didn't know, like what dates they were. And I just wanted it to look. So here are 4 of them. So I do like the pinks and the purples. I have a couple more purples. I'm not sure where they are. I'm sure they're in a box in the basement that we haven't unpacked. But I love having these. And one of the things that I started doing with them too, because I have them so regularly, I write in them every night, is that if I had any like weird chronic symptoms or something like that, I would flag them. So I have little tabbies in the top. So that's kind of a bonus thing, which is nice because I can look through and kind of track symptoms and stuff like that. That's only something that, chronic illness girlies need to know about, but it's helpful. But once I started doing that, once I grab my notebook and I just fill 1 page per day, I put the day and the date, and then I just write until the page is done, until I fill the page. And then I close it, put my little bookmarks in, close it up, and put it by my bed. And then the day is done. And then I can read and go to bed with a quieter mind. You know what I mean? So I just wanted to show you what they looked like, explain what they are, and kind of the origins. And now I'm going to go into more detail about kind of the reasons it's really helpful to me. So the first kind of benefit of having a journaling time before bed is that it gives me a nice, quiet, screen-free time before I go to bed. And I have more of a buffer between my phone and my sleep. I know we're supposed to turn our phones off like 2 hours before we go to bed. Sometimes I can be good about it. Sometimes, I want to play Animal Crossing while I brush my teeth. Don't worry about it, okay? But it's really nice to have that little buffer time before I'm actually calm down and go to sleep. So, put the phone down, grab the journal, fill the page, takes maybe 5 or 10 minutes, and then I read for a little bit, and then I go to sleep. So it just gives me this nice, quiet time that is not revolved around a screen, because I'm trying really hard to cut down on my screen time, not consume so much. And it's just a good way to kind of separate yourself from the phone, and bed. Number 2 is that I can reflect on my day in a more factual and kind of non-judgmental way. This journal in particular, this nighttime journal, is not for self-reflection. This is not for, affirmations and planning and all that kind of stuff. This is just, here is what happened today. You know what I mean? I'll even read an entry for you. Hold on, I found a good one the other day. Okay, so here's an entry from Sunday, December 29th, 2024. So I want you to see, don't worry about that page, but it's just a full page of this little journal. So on that night, I said, today I woke up to feed the cats at 6 a.m. and it was raining. The most perfect rain that made the sky gloomy enough to keep the sun at bay and heavy enough to lull me back to sleep instantly. I slept until 10:30, a glorious sound sleep. I read most of the day. I did try to pick up a bit. That's what this week will be for. We went to Barnes & Noble in the afternoon and spent a good long time browsing in and out of the rain. I got a couple of books, and Emmett got a new Garfield. Andy wants to finish a book before he buys more, and I don't understand. We always talk about how I have so many books on my shelf that I haven't read yet, but I have them. You know what I mean? And he's more of a, let me finish this and then I'll get another one. But that's just an example of how factual it can be. This is what I did during the day, or this is how I felt today. And it always starts with today, blah, blah, blah. And then I could close the book on the day. It was obviously that was a day in the middle of the holidays and that weird in between time. So there wasn't a lot going on and I kind of love it. And I love thinking about this relaxing day where it was just a little bit rainy and we went to a bookstore and that was about it. But yeah, there was no like big planning. There was no, I should have done this. I should have acted like this, blah, blah, blah. No kind of brain dump. It was just, here's what happened today. Totally non-judgmental and factual. I love it. The third reason I love journaling specifically like this at nighttime is that I am not asking too much of myself at the end of the day. I'm not trying to overproduce. I'm not trying to achieve anything with it. I am just documenting. It is a stress-free way to kind of end the day. If you know anything about me so far, you know that I'm an overthinker. I am a perfectionist. I'm an Enneagram 3. You know what I mean? And a Scorpio, like it's a problem. So having this as my kind of wind down mode, I am not expecting anything good. I'm not trying to make it beautiful prose. I am not trying to make some kind of poetic point about the day. I am just stating the facts and I'm not pushing myself to create or produce. That's not what this writing is for. I'm not trying to get X number of words. I'm not trying to fill, tons and tons of pages. It's asking just a little bit of myself to reflect on the day. That's it. Like I am not pushing myself in this exercise at all. And that is something I need for the end of the day because I will get into that mode of, everything has to be perfect. My handwriting even, sometimes I'll think like, oh, it's so messy. Who cares? Nobody's going to see it. It doesn't matter. It can be messy. It can be rambly. It can just be, you know what I mean? So the day is what it is, and it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not asking too much of myself at the end of the day, and it's really good for my brain, who loves to overreact. And number 4, I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but I have a physical action that helps me end the day. So just the action of moving this little bookmark onto the day, closing it, and then putting the little rubber band around, setting it down. It's so nice. It's just this signal that it sends to my brain like, this thing has been done. The day is over. You can hush up now. And she can go to sleep. And just having that kind of physical reminder. I had someone in my group mentioned that one thing she does when she leaves the house and she closes the garage door is she'll snap. So if she forgets if she closed the garage door or not, she remembers, oh, I do remember snapping. Like that extra action of I closed the garage door, I snapped. Or there was also this story about, I think it was in Japan, and it was like train conductors. And in order to kind of eliminate mistakes, they would do, I forget what it's called, but they would say the action they were going to do. They would do the action and then say they completed the action. So it's like with the garage door example, I'm going to close the garage door. I'm closing the garage door. The garage door is closed. So it's like done, 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 done. You know what I mean? So just closing the book, putting the little rubber band around it and putting it away signals to my brain that yes, I am absolutely done for the day. Like there's no other obligation. There is nothing I need to do. There's nothing I need to produce. There's nothing I need to think about until tomorrow. So hush up and let me sleep. It's a great little routine, and I highly recommend it. If you are someone who likes to write, it doesn't take too long. It just takes about 5 minutes, really, or 10 if you're having a hard time thinking about what happened. But you can even write down the super mundane things. I did the dishes today. There are so many entries in these books that are just, I did laundry all day. And I talk about the massive amount of laundry I do because I don't know how people with multiple children do it. Like, Lord, it's so much laundry. Anyway, I highly recommend having an evening journal practice, especially if you're someone who likes to overthink, ruminate, or if you have a hard time sleeping at night because your brain won't be quiet. Just give it a try. Just grab a little notebook and see if it works for you. And if it does, let me know because I love it. Beans is asleep on the floor behind me and it's really sweet. I don't usually let the cats in here when I'm recording because Lord knows what they're going to do, but Beans was really sleepy, so I didn't want to bother him. I have a comforter on the floor. I need to put it away. Don't worry about it. The cats love it, so it's just kind of staying there for a while. Okay, now let's move on to my morning writing practice. This one is a little bit newer. I've only been doing it, it's been off and on. Let me see. Okay, I started it in 2021, but I was not like fully into it. There are a lot of gaps. I only have 2 kind of journals because it started out as a morning pages practice as taught in the Artist Way book. I was trying to find my creativity again while I still had my business a few years ago, and I was feeling really burnt out, and I had been on the burnout hamster wheel for a while. So I decided to pick up the Artist Way. It's kind of I think it's supposed to be like a 12-week sort of course-ish, where you kind of follow journal prompts and do these activities to kind of find your way back to your creative practice. And one of the main things she talks about is doing morning pages. It's like non-negotiable. You write 3 pages every day of just anything. It can be completely innocuous. You can just write, I don't know what to write, over and over and over again for 3 pages. But the idea is that you're getting all this stuff out. It's a great idea. But again, as we have established, I am an overthinker, overachiever, perfectionist. So I was like, I'm going to get these big moleskin paperback notebooks and that are college ruled and like basically 8 by 10 and fill those with 3 pages of writing every single morning. And I did not consider just exactly how long it would take to write 3 full pages in this. So this first journal I have has a lot of breaks in it. I did my best to write those 3 pages, and it was a slog. It ended up eating into my morning, and it was just too much. So I would put it down because I'm kind of an all or nothing sort of person, to my detriment. And so then I'd pick it up, I'd get the itch again and be like, no, I'm gonna do it. So a couple months later, I'd pick it up, try it again. And it wasn't until I really kind of found my rhythm in the morning that I made it work for me. I decided that 3 pages of this particular notebook was too much. It was too much to ask of myself in the morning. So I decided I would fill, just like I did in the evening, I would fill 1 page and I would get as much as I could written. Now, I also have to be gentle with myself with that because some mornings are, I have a kid, I have cats, it's all manner of things could happen. And sometimes I don't have as much time in the morning. So what I do now, my routine in the morning, I wake up, I feed the cats, I make some tea. And while that's brewing, I start writing in my journal. So I have about 30 minutes before I get up and kind of start the day, start getting my kid up, get breakfast going. So I have about 30 minutes to kind of feed the cats, write, have some tea, and kind of decompress before the day. So that's what I do. Some days I can fill the entire page. Some days I can't. Some days it's harder for me to wake up and I don't have as much time. And, 6:30, I got to get the ball rolling. So if I don't fill the page, I don't fill the page. And I've had to be okay with that. My all or nothing mentality has had to kind of take a backseat in terms of my journaling. But that has been one of the biggest impacts in my journaling, is saying it's okay. It's okay if it's not perfect. It's okay if you don't fill the whole page in the morning. Just do what you can do. And that's good. So that is kind of where I am now. And I've been able to do it daily. I don't do it on the weekends. That's another kind of concession that I've made because, like that one journal entry said, I like to sleep in if I can. All right. My kid is old enough that it's okay if I sleep in. It's amazing. And I spent many, many years not being able to sleep in. So I'm going to take advantage of that when I can now. Thank you very much. So yeah, that's kind of where I sit with the journal practice now. It's been probably over a year now that I've written consistently in the morning, and I love it. So here are kind of the reasons why journaling in the morning has kind of changed my life. So number one, kind of like the evening one, it's a stress-free way to end my day. This one is a stress-free way to start the day. Like, it is literally, it's so quiet. I'll put on, some lo-fi music or classical music, or we have all of the Animal Crossing from New Horizons. We have the Animal Crossing soundtrack. I'll put that on sometimes. And I just have some tea and write. And it's quiet. I'm a morning person. I am that kind of annoying morning person. But I love getting a start on the day and starting like this instead of getting up, get the cats fed, get the kid up, start the day like go, go, go. I can kind of slowly ease into the day. And that has been really good for my nervous system and kind of my creative practice. Number two is that it clears out all the junk in my head first thing in the morning. It is such a great way to put a voice to those doubts and just write down the ridiculous things. So you can start out the day feeling, any kind of weird way about yourself. I can't do this. I can't blah, blah, blah. I've got all this stuff to do. And if you write it down, you can kind of see how ridiculous some of the limitations are that you're putting on yourself. Like, you read the words written and you're like, that's silly. Why am I thinking that? So it kind of clears out the cobwebs. It clears out the junk. So you're not ruminating on things first thing in the morning. Sorry, Beans is being very cute right now. Hi, friend. And yeah, it's great because you write it down and then you see it there and then it's out of your head and it's onto the page. And then it's not you don't have to deal with it anymore. It's in the journal. It doesn't need to be up there in your head ruminating. And that leads into number 3 is that it is a great place for affirmations in the morning. Like a lot of the time I spend in my journal in the morning is just kind of pumping myself up. Like, you are capable, you have plenty of time to finish what you want to. It's okay if you don't finish things in your expected time because you never do, because you're too ambitious with things, stuff like that. So, you can really pick any affirmation. As one of the wonderful things you can do with this morning routine is, you can just choose affirmations and write them down over and over and over again. Like, drill that into your head because there are a few things that I just need to hear all the time, and it's really helpful to hear it for myself, to write it down, and I can just really, I believe it, you know, when I write it down, and it just kind of makes me feel better. A lot of it is just the I am capable and I have enough time. I have a lot of time-based stress. I have a hard time gauging how long projects will take. And I have to remind myself to be gentle and that you are making the schedule. So therefore you cannot be late for it. But yeah, it's a great place for affirmations in the morning just to start the day off on a positive note in your own brain. You can just ramble to yourself. Nobody's going to see these. You know what I mean? Like technically you could burn these if you want. You could chuck them. This is just to get stuff out of your head. And the fourth thing I love about it and how it's really helped me is that I can like work through my plans for the day in these journals. So I can physically write down like, okay, I want to do this and this and this today. I can do it in this order. I can do it this way. I need to accomplish this. And the things that I want to do for the day, I can write down. And having physically written them, it feels more solid, if that makes sense. Like I can even work out in the plan, like, no, that won't work. I can move that to tomorrow. Like it's truly rambling about whatever you want, but it helps me plan the day. Like I used my page today to help me plan out this podcast episode and kind of freeform write what the reasons were why I love journaling. I worked it out in real time, kind of stream of consciousness writing, and I've been referencing it this whole time. It's just a helpful place to kind of work through, plans that you have or ideas that you're trying to flesh out, things like that. I love it for that because again, it's a non-judgmental place. Like this is just for your eyes. You can ramble about as much as you want. You can sound as silly as you want. It does not matter. Like this is just for you to get the junk out of your head, plan your day, pump yourself up. It's an amazing tool for the morning. And because of those things that it does for me, I'm able to start the day a little more grounded. I'm not starting the day with the news cycle. I'm not starting it, scrolling on social media. I'm starting it in my own head, clearing out my own cobwebs, planning my day, encouraging myself, and just kind of, I don't know, what's the word? I'm just spending that time in my own, my own brain, my own soul, my own person, and kind of filling my cup, and being my biggest supporter in the morning. And then usually, by the time the 30 minutes is up and I have to go start waking up my kid and stuff, then I've done my page. I feel more grounded. I have a little bit of tea, so I've got a smidge of caffeine. And I'm ready to start the day. And you don't need a ton of time. Like technically it takes me about 20 minutes to write. And you don't have to use a journal that is as huge as mine or has, college ruled line spacing like mine. Like you can use a journal that's smaller, like a reasonable person, and just take the time to sit down and start the day for yourself. Yeah. So just to recap, I have a nighttime journal routine where I just write in a small book with, the activities of the day. And I absolutely love it. It's a wonderful judgment free way to kind of close the book on the day. And I have my morning routine where I get up just about half an hour before everybody else and kind of start the day clearing the cobwebs. And it's amazing. If you do journal, let me know. I would love to chat about it with you, kind of what your routines are. If you don't and you want to start, please let me encourage you because it is really great. You'll feel very silly at first, especially if you're stream of conscious writing in the morning. Sometimes it's silly, but just know this is just for you. And there's no wrong thing to write in your own journal. And I hope it works. Thank you for listening. I'm hoping I'll have a little bit more energy so I can get the next interview out, and hopefully I'll reach out to some more folks so we can keep the interviews going. If you have any topics that you want me to cover or just want to chat about, let me know on Instagram or here in the comments on Substack or YouTube. I would love to chat more about all things business, life, creativity, cats, being a parent, all kinds of stuff. So let me know. And thank you for listening again. And I will see you next week.